Hello students, you're welcome to chapter 3 of grade 6 science. This chapter is fiber to fabric, and to make our understanding easy, we are going to divide it into two parts. So here we begin with the first part, but before we do so, please like, subscribe and share the channel. The learning objectives for this chapter are: explain the meaning of fiber, yarn and fabric, compare natural and man-made fibers, describe the production of plant and animal fibers, explain the technique of spinning, weaving and knitting, and lastly, learn the history of clothing material. We humans wear clothes. Have you ever wondered how the tiny threads are converted into fabric? So in this chapter, we are going to learn how the fibers are converted into fabric. So let's begin with the fabric. If we visit a cloth merchant, we find a lot of cloth material and all vary in touch, feel and texture. They are made from cotton, silk, wool or synthetic. We take a thread roll and then hold one end of the thread and rub it between the fingers. Now this will segregate the finer strands, and these strands are actually made up of fibers. The thread is made from these strands or fibers and also called yarn. That means fabric is made up of yarn and yarn in turn is made up of fibers. Let's define fabric. A fabric is a material made through weaving, knitting, spreading, crocheting or bonding of the yarn. This may be used for production of further goods, that is, garments. Cloth may be synonymously used with fabric, but is often a piece of fabric that has been processed. So all fabrics are clothes, but not all clothes are fabrics. Here we see the pictures of the processes which we had discussed. So the first one is weaving, knitting, spreading and crocheting or bonding. Where do these fibers come from? So fibers are either natural or man-made, also called synthetic. So when we see the natural part, we obtain it from either plant or animal. So when we see the plant, we have cotton, we have jute and we have coir. Whereas the animal sources are wool, silk and feathers. Man-made or synthetic fibers are either polymer, which are long chains of molecules, or mineral. So if we see polymers are rayon, nylon and polyester. Whereas mineral-based fibers are fiberglass, carbon fiber or rock wool. The natural fibers are in use by the humans since thousands of years, whereas man-made fibers or synthetic fibers are in use since 19th century, and that's not that far off. A question at this point in time: where do fibers come from? Put on your thinking caps and keep thinking. The fibers of some fabrics such as cotton, jute, silk and wool are obtained from plants and animals. These are called natural fibers and are in use since thousands of years. Wool is also obtained from hair of rabbit, llama, yak and camel, whereas silk fiber is drawn from the cocoon of silkworm. Science facts. Rayon was the first man-made fiber produced in the 19th century and was called artificial silk. Here we have a picture of rayon fibers and rayon fabric. At times the synthetic fibers are mixed with natural fibers to make them wrinkle-free, sturdy and weather independent. Example, polycotton and terracotta. Difference: natural and synthetic fibers. Here we have two segregations, one for natural fibers and another for synthetic fibers. So natural fibers require delicate handling, whereas synthetic fibers are quite strong. Natural fibers wrinkle easily and are also impacted due to molds, moths, wear and wash. Whereas synthetic fibers have good resistance to wrinkles, molds, moths, wear and wash. Natural fibers are costlier to obtain, whereas synthetic fibers are cheaper to obtain. Natural fibers absorb sweat, whereas synthetic fibers do not absorb sweat. Natural fibers are suitable for wearing in any weather. Synthetic fibers are not suitable for wearing in hot and humid weather. Natural fibers do not catch fire easily, whereas synthetic fibers catch fire easily, so are not suitable to be worn while cooking or handling fire. With this, we come to an end of part 1 from the chapter Fiber to Fabric. Hope you have understood the concepts till this point, and in case you have any queries, please feel free to write mail to learning.space.mk@gmail.com. We'll meet again in part 2. Till then, happy learning!